Welcome back to Uncanny Expeditions. It's good to be back. So today I'm going to take you guys along on my favorite pastime, and that is heading out into the desert and exploring a secret facility that's rumored to house UFOs. And actually, I'm not talking about Area 51 this time, although it is closely related. Today, I'm out here in a remote stretch of the Mojave Desert. I'm going to be exploring a high security site called the Helendale RCS, or Radar Cross Section Facility. This facility, owned and operated by Lockheed Martin's legendary secret project division Skunk Works, is where some of the most advanced and exotic aircraft are brought out to be tested and have their radar signature measured by a huge array of radar dishes. They really built this facility with secrecy as a top priority. In fact, it contains a massive underground storage and aircraft prep facility with a huge silo that extends at least 200 feet below the surface. A huge, very distinctive looking pylon comes up from below the ground and hoists the classified aircraft up in the air while the tests are completed. They have these radar arrays at the opposite end of the range that they blast the aircraft with radar, and they measure its stealth capabilities. The fact that the aircraft are kept in the underground prep facility and the pylon extends from below the surface, this allows them to keep the aircraft away from the prying eyes of spy satellites and also weirdos in the desert like me. Rumors have long swirled about UFOs and black projects related to this Skunk Works facility. Some say there's a continuity of government bunker or even subterranean tunnels that lead to other secret facilities like Area 51 and other what they call deep underground military bases, or DUMBs. I don't know about all that, but regardless of the rumors, its location and secrecy are perfect for hiding advanced next generation stealth aircraft, advanced UAVs, or who knows, maybe even something more out of this world. So my goal after I check out the perimeter of the facility is I'm going to head up into the hills above the facility and hopefully be able to camp up there. I'm going to see what kind of interesting things I can see overnight. I brought my night vision, my spotting scope, a couple other cool goodies. So yeah, it should be a pretty fun time. One thing I've started taking more seriously lately is bicycle and motorcycle security. I've started carrying around this Litelok with me. These guys make some of the best locks in the industry. If you're in the market for a good bike and motorcycle lock, I highly recommend it. They actually gave me a discount code I can give you guys too, so I'll link that down in the description. Alright, I'm hitting the first in a network of trails that I'll be taking. There are a few ways to make the approach. I'll be coming at it from the north this time. I'm still several miles out, but I should be in visual range here within the next 10 minutes or so of riding. So this facility, the Lockheed Helendale RCS, was first constructed back in 1983 and later expanded in 1985. The fact that it was conceived at the height of the Cold War contributed to its secret nature and stringent security measures, being able to quickly hide classified projects underground to avoid Soviet spy satellites primarily. Even to this day, the underground aircraft prep facility and the retractable pylon are still alive and well, and their main focus, I'm sure, is avoiding Chinese spy satellites, as well as the prying eyes of anyone in the public who happens to be out here. What I've read suggests they bring the classified test aircraft out in the dead of night, and not much activity happens out here during the day. The underground entrance looks pretty crazy when you see an aerial shot of it. In addition to the underground silo and pylon, you'll see the facility has an array of hangars and storage buildings, as well as various radar dishes used to perform the test. Before the test site was built, the site was home to the Helendale Airport actually, and one of the old runways is still there. It's still maintained by Lockheed, and it's used for night operations. It's well lit. I've hit the more well-traveled road now. As you can see, this one is wide and hard-packed. I can tell it's used by heavy trucks quite frequently. If I had to guess, I'd say this route is used by trucks carrying the airframes and other equipment out here whenever they're approaching from Highway 58 to the north. The Lockheed Helendale RCS is not the only RCS facility here in the Antelope Valley. In fact, there are two more. The former McDonnell Douglas facility, which has been sold, I believe, and the Northrop Tejon facility, which from what I looked up suggests it's been out of regular use since 2011 and may actually now be totally abandoned. The Lockheed one that I'm going to now is still as operational as ever though. All of these RCS facilities have had numerous reports of anomalous activity by people in the area. I've read about strange glowing orbs hovering in the night sky, and things like secret underground tunnel networks that connect all the facilities in the valley together. Some of these reports have more or less credibility than some of the others, but I like to keep an open mind. One of the reports of an alleged black project out here that I find particularly compelling was the sighting of a bizarre craft. It was nicknamed the Brilliant Buzzard. The witness described it as having a massive black shape of over 200 feet long, which is pretty insane, and it was making a low rumbling sound as it passed over the facility. This was a pretty old report, I think. It was from the 90s, so whatever it was probably even old tech by today's standards. All right, so I'm riding along and I just caught my first glimpse of the facility. I can see one of the big radar dishes off in the distance. All right, so I'm at the western fence line, looking towards some kind of a small little building there. Here's the main cluster of buildings, at least on the surface. This looks like it's mostly hangars and storage facilities where they store models and airframes. You can see the radar too. They blast it this way downrange. They've got a small little gate on the western fence here. No drones. Pretty typical signage. All right, I'm just coming along the perimeter of the fence line here. As you can see, there's signs along the perimeter that say no trespassing and no loitering. I'm not sure about the no loitering part. I don't think they could enforce that really, since it's not their property. But anyways, I'm loitering, so we'll see if any security comes out. There's a lot of aerial activity today. I think it's mostly from probably Edwards and China Lake to the north, but there's all kinds of jets coming over. You might have just heard that sonic boom a minute ago. All right, I got a little better vantage point. Now I can get an up-close look at the radar and the buildings here. Man, this one hangar here at the end is absolutely massive. I wonder what they keep in there. All right, well, I haven't seen any security vehicles of any kind yet. I've been here for, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes or so, just kind of hanging out. I'm gonna keep moving along the fence line and make my way over to the front gate, see if it's manned or if there's any activity going on there. right, well, I'm at the front gate. All I see right now are some security trucks parked there, but I haven't seen any activity. It's possible there's somebody in the booth, I just can't see them. I just saw a guy come out of that trailer there and go into the booth. Presumably that's the guy who mans the guard shack. Got a couple different security cameras out front there. There's a close-up shot of some of the security vehicles. Got a Chevy pickup and a Dodge Charger behind it there. I was trying to figure out what that sign was. Evidently a warning about desert tortoises. All right, so I rode along the eastern edge of the fence line. So now I'm on the eastern side of the facility looking towards the buildings. I'm gonna get my telephoto lens out because I think I can get a good look at the other side of the buildings that I couldn't see from the south side. It looks like one of the hangar doors is actually open, so I'm gonna pull my telephoto lens out here and give you guys a look. Yeah, it looks like one of those buildings is open there. So the test site here is about 8 square miles of land area. I've ridden around the perimeter of most of it now. All I have left to do from here is I'm gonna make my way up to the northern edge and ride along that perimeter for a minute. The Skunk Works headquarters is located about 45 miles away in Palmdale at the Air Force Plant 42. I'll probably do a little video checking out Plant 42 one of these days because it's a pretty interesting place. They certainly have an interesting logo with a little crashed UFO here. I've long been intrigued by the often purported connection that Lockheed has to UFO lore. You have the former head of Skunk Works, Ben Rich, who made several enigmatic statements about the possession of technology capable of traveling the stars and to quote-unquote bring ET home. If Skunk Works did have such a thing, could it be kept out here? Maybe, who knows? Well, it looks like I'm finally starting to draw attention from security. They've been seeing me stick my camera over the fence, I guess. Got a guy in the white truck over there watching me. It's the camo dudes we have at home, I guess. All right, I think that's enough harassing the guards for one day. What do you say we go up into the mountains and look for a good campsite? All right, well, I made it to the top of this little hill that's adjacent to the base. It's a pretty good view from up here. I definitely got some elevation. It wasn't too bad of a drive up here. It was just a little rocky trail, but no problem really to make it up. Well guys, it's absolutely beautiful weather out this evening. I really couldn't ask for anything more. It's no wind, totally still. It's golden hour right now, so we have beautiful lighting and these shadows stretching across the valley as the sun dips behind the mountains. I have my camp set up, so I'm gonna grab a quick bite to eat, and as soon as the sun goes down, I'm gonna pull out my PVS-14 night vision and see if there's anything cool in the night sky tonight. Looks like another vehicle's arriving. It went in through the front gate and it's now driving down the test area. As the sun started to set behind the mountains, I got settled into my observation point for the night. First thing I noticed is that more and more vehicles were arriving as the sun was going down. After about 5 or 6 vehicles entered the facility, things kind of calmed down. I wasn't sure if I was going to see anything, but after a while sitting there in the dark, things started to get interesting. The first thing I noticed was a light appeared on the ground. It was too faint for me to see with the naked eye, but through my nods it showed up very bright. This was indicating to me that the hatch was most likely opening to the underground silo. Wow, this looks crazy. They got it rotating up there on that pylon. Security truck down there making another pass. I don't know why they have their hazards on. Well, an aircraft just came up out of the hole. So it looks like they are going to do an RCS, radar cross-section test tonight. That's super cool. I honestly didn't think I was going to see anything, but here we are. If any video is going to get me accused of being a Chinese spy, it's going to be this one. Keep in mind, if this isn't the clearest video in the world, it's being filmed at over 1.5 miles away, probably close to 1.5 miles away, and in pitch dark conditions. Like there's no lights. They killed all the lights on the runway. They really didn't want this to be filmed. But I've got my PVS-14 night vision device here. I'm And I have that stacked with my spotting scope. And yeah, hopefully this is gonna come out cool. I can make out the vague shape of the craft. I can see the nose, and it looks like two vertical fins. I think the aircraft is upside down. They're spinning it around too, so. All right, well, I made it back safe and sound. I can't say I got the best night's sleep. Those drones were circling overhead for like the whole night, so didn't bring earplugs with me, but is what it is. Anyways, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you like seeing me camp in places I probably shouldn't. Hopefully my next video is not from a Cell and Gitmo. See you next time.